Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs, episode 80. My name is Brian, and with me today, of course,
Marco, the big one Mexican.
that's right. Thanks for joining us, and I hear that you have some good news. Kind of like expanding your horizons.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how apt our name is anymore, but of course, we've always said being jobless is the ideal and what
Being
we
Jobless
strive for.
Weebs, not being jobless.
Weebs, yeah. Good distinction. Jobless Weebs is the ideal. Yeah, because I love it.
You know,
but
I'm thinking like
congrats.
this is like my alter ego.
Oh yes.
You know, like those DC shows. They're like,
Oh,
my name
right.
is Marco, and I'm the big brown Mexican.
Yeah. And kind of like shedding the
But
other
secretly,
personas that
it's like
you
I'm a jobless weeb, but secretly, I'm an office worker.
by day. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of like that. It's like, yeah,
It's funny.
my alter ego, my secret identity. I'm an office worker. I work as an engineer. But
That's great.
I'm the Flash. I mean, I'm the
yeah,
big brown Mexican.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. Well, it's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
The Flash is your favorite superhero, right?
No,
Like
it's
your-
actually Nightwing. But
Nightwing. Okay.
the Flash is one of the ones that I have the most shirts.
You do.
I don't think I haven't
Yeah.
worn them as of late.
Yeah, not very often, but you do have a great shirt today.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Pretty awesome. Well, yeah.
How have you been, Brian?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good.
This week was rough for you.
Yeah, this week was really rough for me. It started off really great, really great. You know, putting in my 2 cents on the things that I'm working on and stuff like that. I currently have an internship, but it also, at the end of the week, I also had a little bit of pressure on finishing up some things, but I got through it, which is great. Still loving it, working hard, but yeah, I'll see what my next steps take me.
Hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty good. So yeah, we're recording this.
As long as your secret identity is not being jobless.
Yes.
That's good.
My identity is Jobless Weeb is safe. Yeah. So yeah, we are here.
We don't want to be neats, so.
Yeah, that's right.
But hey, that's great.
Yeah. Well, today we have a pretty awesome anime to talk about. This month, of course, is the month of February, which a lot of us think about Valentine's and things of that nature. But of course, a lot of it, I like to think of it as like appreciating the relationships that we do have instead of relationships that we might not have, or maybe
That's what a
want
single
to have
person
in the future.
says, right? It's like,
Yeah, that's what a single.
no,
And of
we
course-
should appreciate friendship.
I'm single, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's out.
that was like, yeah, that doesn't really matter. What really matters is like your bonds that you have with your friends and family. That's what this month is about.
That's right. So yeah. That's right. And sorry for anyone out there who went through a hard time, but we are past Valentine's at the time it's coming out. But yeah, having a positive attitude is the best. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. I mean, at the time of recording, it's not Valentine's yet.
That's
so
right, yeah.
It still counts.
Yeah. There you go. So, actually, I just thought also that this kind of goes along with the anime itself we're talking about today, with those themes. The anime that we want to talk about today is Ride Your Wave, which is an anime that came out a few years ago, back in 2019, and it was from studio. It was produced by. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Science Saru, and directed by Masaki Yuasa. So this one is a pretty great. It's a pretty great hour. It's an hour and a half. It has an amazing story, and I just fell in love with it the first time I watched it. I actually did cry.
Oh
so
yeah.
that's kind of like the small introduction to this particular anime, and and I know that you also have a pretty unique experience with it too.
Yeah, because when I found that one during that weekend, I watched the Violet Evergarden movie and Joseph the Tiger and the Fish movie.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like an emotional punch combo.
Oh yes.
Because I cried with Violet Evergarden just like the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
Then
that is a killer.
Joseph the Tiger and the Fish also like towards the end, because you know it's a pretty emotional one, and we also have an episode about that.
We do, yeah. Very heart-wrenching.
Hopefully Editor Me will not be as lazy as to not put the timestamp of that episode.
Yes.
One of the earlier episodes, actually.
It was, yeah. It was a while ago. Yeah.
And you know, now Ride Your Wave. It's a great movie with really soft colors. The character design, it's, you know, it was kind of like elongated.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that part is emphasized in quite a few parts. But yeah, it's very like in that style of tall characters, probably you would say.
Yeah.
Perspective has a lot to do with this one.
And you know, I've noticed this a lot in animes, especially there's another anime that I liked a lot that it's called Welcome to the Ballroom.
Yes!
Where the features of the characters are kind of like elongated and just to kind of like emphasize, you know, the body shape.
That's right, yeah. And that's like the highlight. And Welcome to the Ballroom, they have very long necks, and that's like the feature.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird, but at the same time, it looks imposing. Like when they're dancing, it's like,
very, very.
And with this one, it's a lot more smoother. But at the same time, you know, the characters, they practice surf, or they put a lot of surf scenes.
Yeah, surfing and very, very flowy movements.
Yeah. So probably I see why the character design was like that for that movie, because like they wanted to resolve the waves and how the body moves. Yeah. Especially because it seems like a really simple character design.
Yeah,
it's not like really elaborate, where, you know, there are a lot of animes where they even put muscles within the muscles.
Oh, yeah. Like JoJo. Their muscles are muscles. But yeah, I totally agree. It's much smooth. I would say simple too. I agree with that, especially with like their legs. Sometimes a lot of it is very flowy, and that also goes along with that, like looking at objects through water, which is a really cool idea. Another thing that I would say also is kind of like the faces, they also kind of remind me of Welcome to the Ballroom, just with the whole like angular kind of things we were talking about before, but also that angular, smooth type of design. Yeah. Also with Hinako, whenever there was like a side shot, or maybe even a 3/4 or the more angled view, her eyes would be like, I'm not sure how they did it, but it's like her eyes were accentuated with the roundness of her eyes. That was really cool.
You know, because
it's fascinating.
That is really hard to make in anime, especially because
Yeah.
you see a lot of like moe type anime, where especially
Yeah.
when they're on the side,
Uh-huh.
they have like a hole for the mouth.
Oh yes, the whole, yeah, just the whole, and then you do see the eyes, but yeah, it's just like,
Like there's a hole, and there's a lot of
yeah.
some other anime genres that when they're on the side,
Ooh,
it actually
yes.
looks just a tiny bit, and it looks more natural. And a lot of times you don't even notice, because I mean you see the hole and it's like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if
nothing
you're
wrong here.
an experimented weeb or whatever, you're like, that looks weird. I still love it, but that looks weird.
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. It like watching so many anime, you do kind of get a sense, maybe even a feel, even if you never have studied drawing, but you do get a feel of like what's different after experiencing a lot.
Yeah.
So fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're.
I mean, because like a lot of people
yeah.
is like, all the anime looks the same. It's like,
Right.
excuse me.
Ooh, excuse me.
It's like,
Yeah. Right. Because you see that and you see the differences. Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about this at the beginning, because that is definitely one of the biggest things you kind of notice when you kind of jump into this anime, and it's kind of like the emphasis too in this particular story. We'll also talk about the story too, but yeah, it's incredible, uh, and the water shots. I just love like all the water shots with how the water moves, and the animation of the waves, and then of course the water going up the tower. But yeah, we'll talk about that too. Oh, it's incredible. So this story, I would say, is a romance story, but I would say that is a big part of it. But along with kind of like, um, so also like this movie, I would almost say it's not quite a romance movie either. Kind of like how in A Silent Voice, you can say that it is a romance movie, but at the same time, not really.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, that one, you could say like the complete story, it's a romance one.
Yeah.
Because like if you have read the manga before, it's like, yeah, they do end up together.
That's right.
But like for the movie, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's not exactly a love story or a conventional love story as we know.
Yeah. Conventional, yeah.
Of like boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, girl does the same, they kiss, they live happily ever after. It's not that.
Yeah, not quite.
I mean, it has some elements.
It does have those elements, yeah.
But this movie has,
small changes and small tweaks.
Those small tweaks.
Yeah.
That you're like, damn, like.
Yeah.
Like this movie was great. But sometimes I have that complaint. It's like, oh, this movie is beautiful. But this tragedy happens.
Oh,
and it's like,
no.
How is that beautiful?
Right, how? Why am I watching this? It's making me cry.
But like the storytelling is what's good. Because it's like, it's not only the romance part, it's, the growing part.
Right. That's exactly right.
And that's something that I even noticed with some of them, with like Joseph the lion.
Ooh, yeah.
And the fish, or Hall, that
Oh, yeah.
we were thinking about talking about that one too.
We did, yeah. We discussed
which is not only like the love part, it's how the characters grow from that love.
Yeah. And so the story, it has love, but that's not like the main focus. Yeah. And so when we are talking about this, I want to try to think of like the different genres, or maybe what it can be characterized and called. Of course, we could probably throw it into like coming of age story, but I do want to go into it a little bit more and kind of like dive deep into what what may be happening in the story. And so at the beginning, it is it is kind of like opening up to this move that this girl is making. She goes to a new place. She's basically starting college, and so she goes off on her own, gets her own apartment, and she loves to surf, and so she's right by the ocean, which is pretty great. Her name is Hinako. She's the main character of the story, and we see her apartment, and it's just mountains of boxes,
Oh, yeah.
and it just is a straight hallway through it, and so it's really funny. She just grabs her board and she runs over to the beach, and so we see her start surfing, and we already know that's her passion. That's what she loves doing, riding the waves in the ocean. And then we also see a shot from the top of the building, and there are two guys there basically watching her. But one of them says, "Oh yeah, I see her like come out here and surf, and she's my hero."
Yeah.
And that's basically like the beginning where we start off. And so already it's like establishing characters, where they are, who they are, and yeah, that beginning part is just so great because it has that feel of new beginnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turns out that these two characters that were in the building, they are firefighters.
That's right.
And what was the name of the guy again?
Yeah, so there's Minato.
Minato, yeah.
Yeah, Minato, and then the other guy is a side character. We can
ignore him.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
so funny.
He's important.
That's right.
But it's fine if we forget his name.
It's the side character.
And
wow.
So the story revolves around these two, Hinako and Minato.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of interactions with each other during the first couple minutes until a fated day at night where a group of hooligans is up to mischief.
Yep.
By, lighting up fireworks.
Oh my
at an abandoned building. And
genius idea.
It's like, okay, just like, were you guys in college? It's like, how is this really the future for our generation? It's like, like, at least do it in an open space or something.
Yeah.
It's like, you idiots, you definitely were not like a science major because you would have known.
Oh yes, and the inevitable happens. The abandoned building catches on fire.
No, it was not the abandoned building. It was
it's the apartment building.
Yeah,
across the way, and it's Hinako's apartment building. So the fire starts kind of on the lower levels.
Was it on the lower or on the top? I think it was on the top level.
It was on the top? Okay.
I mean, kind of like in the middle.
Oh, yeah, okay. In the middle, yeah.
But it was on top.
So...
No, on the bottom of her, I think.
Yeah, it was beneath her.
Yeah, beneath her. Yeah, that's right.
She was pretty high up.
Her reaction was so natural, kind of.
It was,
Because she's like, oh, shoot, priorities.
Yeah.
My surfboard.
She grabs the surfboard, she starts running.
Like, my cell phone.
She goes back. It's great. And then, of course, we cut to the firefighters, and it's Minato who's coming out, obviously from the firefighting team that he's on. So he comes also to go to this fire to put it out. And so she's like coming out now. She remembered to grab her stuff, her priorities, and then she goes to the stairwell, but instead of going down, she goes up. I think there was something to do with it was too smoky, the fire being underneath her. I think it was that she thought it was dangerous to go down, so she went up.
Yeah,
Which of course Minato says afterwards, you should go down if a building is on fire.
yeah, because I mean, if
Yeah.
the smoke it's going up, that's why the
you should.
instructions are like you
At
should
least-
lay down because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know the smoke stays up.
That's right. Yeah. So get down on your hands and knees. Stay close to the floor. Try to go down. But of course, sometimes that might not always be feasible. So some people do go up. But yeah, going down and getting down to the floor is fast. She goes to the
Mr. Side
roof.
character.
Oh yes, and his name is Wasabi.
Wasabi. Oh, that's
wasabi.
why.
Yeah. So it's like wasabi. Yeah.
Yeah.
The food.
He starts like fighting the fire. And that was kind of sad, you know, because he was like the hero. He was fighting the fire. He's like
literally in the building.
I'm here to rescue you. And
on
then
the roof.
Minato comes almighty and powerful on the freaking stair.
Yeah, on the cherry picker, on the ladder of the fire truck. Oh my! And he's like, the backlight, and he's like, he's like a freaking superhero. He's like, here, I've come to save you. No.
Yeah, and she's like, can I take my board? And he's like, yeah, you can. Turns out that she couldn't, but she did it anyways.
Yeah, it was against
like that was like
protocol.
The encounter.
Yes, that was the beginning.
Because from there they were like, oh, it was nice meeting you, and they start this courtship process, and they start talking and
hanging out, and it's like a montage. So it's like them doing some things. She, of course, introduces him to like surfing, which I think was great.
They also have a song.
Oh yes! Oh my god!
Which all that sequence is like, oh my god, I'm gonna get diabetes.
yeah.
Because they're like laughing, singing the song, and then you're like, oh, this is so cute, so cute, until it's not.
And one thing I wanted to mention for that montage, before we get to the sad part, in the montage they kept talking about, riding your wave. She's teaching him to like surf. She's also like, oh yeah, I like the waves aren't like every wave never comes up again. Each one is like unique, kind of thing. And then also, whenever the wave comes in, like to ride your wave and like meet that challenge to do it.
That's right.
That started in that montage.
Because she's really good at riding the waves of the ocean.
Yeah.
But she sucks at riding the waves of life. And I'm not being philosophical. I'm being just literal, because that's the way they describe it.
That's right. Yeah,
Minato, he sucks at surfing, but he knows how to cook. It seems like he has his life together.
Yeah, he's where he wants to be, and people respect him, which is awesome. But yeah, and it's like he could do anything.
Yeah, and she is a mess, kind of like overall.
She can't cook. Her apartment is messy.
I mean, you know, kind of like
small
some
things.
general skills that you would expect an adult to have.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
She doesn't have them. That's why she relies a lot on Minato, because Minato is this level-headed guy.
Yeah.
That it seems that he has skills for everything, and eventually even for surfing.
Yeah.
That he becomes
good.
Not as good as her.
Right.
But in a way, she's like, oh, he's like, I feel like you're carrying me.
Yeah, she does say that. She tells him that she feels like she always needs him there to rely on. When they were camping together, that part was watching it a second time. It's like, oh, that's so sad.
Because they also on Christmas there's a building where people just just pay for messages to be delivered, like,
That's right.
"Hey mom, Merry Christmas," or like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love you so much," and they're like, "Oh yeah, it'll be super nice to come back here next time." And
Yeah, and he's like leading her along for all the little couple activities, like putting the heart together,
putting the
putting the
lock
lock on, and she's like, oh, like not really. She's loving it, but she's also like with him. But yeah, she's like, embarrassed and whatnot, or maybe not quite ready for like them to live together. But yeah, that tower is pretty important later on, and yeah, soon after here, in the next year after Christmas, um, yeah, the tragedy happens, and yeah, that's when it suddenly not becomes a very happy thing.
The sea was not happy. He was there just surfing because he went out of work early.
Yeah.
And there were, again, some hooligans, some idiot people just
messing around on.
I mean,
jet
it's like
skis.
do stupid things, gain stupid prices.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Because they were like, oh yeah, like they're doing flips and everything, and in their in their water.
That's right. Yeah.
In their water skis.
Yeah.
And then one of them does not come out, and it's like,
yeah. Minato, when he sees this, he was literally on the phone on the beach at this time, but when everyone was calling like the friend's name and saying like you're like, he realizes what's going on. He drops his phone, drops his board, and he just runs into the ocean to save the guy.
Which makes sense, because he's a firefighter.
But yeah, that's right. Yeah, he just goes.
So he has training. So at the same time, I wouldn't do it because I don't have training. So
that's true. That's true. You shouldn't go beyond your abilities.
If you go, and I mean that's sad, but it's better for you to go as for both of us.
Yeah. He
Which
has some training.
Turn out like it was supposed to, because he was able to save the friend.
Yeah.
But they never really explained what happened.
Yeah, they never did.
My assumption is that he somehow was able to save the friend, but then he was pulled by the sea or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was.
He didn't make it.
That's right. He didn't come out himself.
And the thing is that Hinako was on her way to meet him at the sea.
Yeah.
And then
so when she arrives, all she sees are like ambulances, the emergency responses,
a broken surfboard,
surfboard, and it's a lot darker and it's a little more stormy. Of course, like it was the end of the day, but when she comes up, we realize he isn't coming back, and she realizes that, and also, and I'm not quite entirely sure if it's later on in the movie or if it's during that part, but there is a scene right around there, like after she discovers this, she sees that another scene with Minato, or a body covered up with stones holding down the covering. So
it was that part actually, I think.
Okay, yeah. And so he did pass away from trying to save somebody else. So very, very tragic, very, very sad. She's hit really, really hard, and it's really, really hard for her to cope with that. And pretty much the next large part of the movie is all about scenes where she is there, but not really there with whoever she is with. And also while they were dating, they met Yoko, which is Minato's younger sister.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Yoko is a pretty cool character. We see Yoko and Hinako kind of meeting together a couple of times, along with Wasabi. But I think one of the first times after this tragedy happens is when they are like together, and they pretty much give her Minato's memorabilia, or kind of like a box of
Belongings.
some of his belongings. Yeah, yeah. That part was so sad.
It was because I mean she was completely devastated. She even moved out from her place that was close to the sea.
Because she was reminded of this too much, and it was too hard.
And so she just moved to another place.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Like all her friends and family were like, "Hey,
yeah,
you need to catch a break, or like get away from here, or do something,
yeah,
because you're not good."
The two best friends hang out with her. Yoko is probably the most upfront, blunt person. Of course, with her personality that was established while they were dating, Yoko stays true to her character by saying like accept that he's gone, like he's not coming back, whatever you do, but very, very blunt about it. And Wasabi, he also has kind of an interesting take on this, because he's like very concerned about her, and later in the movie we see that he kind of follows her around sometimes.
Yeah.
And of course, probably by now, if you haven't guessed it, he does kind of have a crush on her, maybe just like a teeny weeny one, but he does like her. But that's not until a little bit later in the story. Hinako, when she tries to kind of like try to like connect with him, even though he's gone, she's trying to get into his phone. She's trying to kind of like reach out to him, even though he's gone. She stumbles upon, whenever she's near water and whenever she sings their special song, that she sees him in the water, or he appears in the water, which is the fantastical element, or like the supernatural element to this anime movie. And
because I mean, every time that she's like, the first time that it happens, I think is when she's with her friends.
Yeah, the two best friends.
And Minato appears in the water, she's like, "Hey," and she's like, "What?"
Oh, that's right.
And also, I think when it was raining on the campus, or there was some water coming, and she was singing, and then the water took the shape of her name.
Oh yes,
and she was like,
literally.
Okay, and then finally, when she's crossing, kind of like some sort of like small like dam, or
the little creek.
That she drops the phone, and the water just like holds the phone and gives to her, and she's like, okay,
she keeps trying it out, like
she just keeps singing,
and it
jumps. And sees her, and she's like, "I'm not crazy," and I was like, "That's debatable."
That's debatable. But in the movie we see her; she's interacting with this. But oh my,
So she definitely meets with Minato again, because Minato promised that he would never leave her until she was able to ride her wave.
That's right. And he always reminds her that. Whenever she tries to talk with him, he always says that, like, I'm gonna be here for you whenever you call and need me, and I'll come to you. But his main desire is that he wants her to be able to ride her wave. and she and with also like his belongings that was given to her, she kind of and when all this is happening, and she also like brings like a water bottle with her everywhere where she can like carry him around in the water.
Or she puts water in the...
She finally puts water in
beluga, it was not a beluga. It was
the other one. It was a finless porpoise.
Yeah.
But they do say that it looks very similar to
a beluga. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and
So
she takes the
she
freaking...
takes that around with her.
So he's like, of course people is going to be worried about you. He's like, who under like same condition
Well, that's the
takes
yeah.
a
That's
freaking
right. Nobody does.
like 1.5 feet filled with water, giant beluga. And
Yeah,
like,
it's
not
like,
a giant
it's like
beluga. I
almost
don't care.
6
It's like
feet tall. Yeah.
a water beluga out for a spin.
That's funny. Okay, yeah. Well, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Like, this
and the
reminded
physics
me
doesn't make any sense.
of
either.
the five steps of grievance.
Exactly.
Because like
exactly
when she was doing that, she was pretty much in negation. It's like, he didn't die.
She was in
He's still
denial.
here.
Uh-huh.
Or she was trying to negotiate. Kinda
Right.
Hey, no, he's dead, but he's here, so he's not gone. And it's like, girl, you
and then she
you need to let it go.
right.
Because it's like from the point of view of a sane person or whatever that means of being sane.
Oh, sure. Whatever it means about that, or maybe even like normal or anything of that nature. Like, it looks crazy.
You would get
acting.
worried about your friend carrying a water-filled animal around and dancing and
in order to
enjoying life, because you're like, I mean, it's okay. Your fiance just died, so it's okay for you to be, your emotions in disarray. But this is a little too much.
Yeah, and her friends were trying to help her, trying to almost intervene. And
Wasabi.
Wasabi, he also tries to. So here's the thing with him. He sees her doing this too, right? Instead of intervening like the others, in that sense of telling her to like get a grip, either move on like Yoko did, or kind of like, move on in the way that her two best friends were trying to help. He kind of followed her around and then, of course, was concerned, but approached her, saying that he is concerned, of course, but he also confesses.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and he was trying to
he did have a crush on her,
take Minato's place.
Right, and yes, that's exactly. That's how he was trying to approach it.
It's not a good move.
Right, yeah, I would agree. That's, not the best way to, like, do it. Of course, he liked her. He was trying to tell her to move on, but in that sense, it probably wasn't the best. And us as an audience, we do. Some of us might also like respond that way. Maybe even say that is a jerk move. But he tries to tell her his feelings, trying to help her. She freaks out. This particular scene is pretty interesting. She's at work, and so also he's trying to confess her to her with like flowers, and it's thoughtful.
That he just bought, right? Like, I want flowers for this girl that she loves to see. It's like,
right, and
here you go. Thank you.
Because she works at the flower shop, and so, oh my gosh. So be that as it may, because it could be all sorts of like weird. He like it's thoughtful, though, in the sense that it's blue and white to represent the ocean. But then again, it is still like, is it seriously the right time or the right place? But anyway, he takes the flowers. Maybe he wasn't planning on doing it there. Either
Yeah.
way, though, he tries. She runs off to the bathroom. Of
And
course.
starts talking with Minato in the restroom.
Oh
And
my gosh.
Minato,
Okay, here's
Minato
the
even
thing
tells her,
about-
like, well,
here's
if
the
you don't
thing
want
too.
people to think you're crazy, you should stop
You should
talking
stop
with the
talking
toilet.
with the toilet. It is like, okay, you're right. Well, okay, right. But yeah, that's the funny thing about like grief and about how people look at us or maybe interact with us. Some situations are sad and we do want to empathize and be like really thoughtful of people, but sometimes in this way it makes us laugh because it is so almost uncomfortable, but there is also a kind of humor to it, almost in the sense that we can look at it and kind of laugh at all the odd things that are happening. But yeah, she literally talks with him in the toilet. And he's still reminding her, like, like, he's a great guy. Like, why not go out with him? And she's like, what? But I want to, like, be with you for the rest of my life.
And he's aware also. He's like, hey,
also,
I'm
yes, yeah.
not there. I cannot touch you. I'm
I
just
can't
like
hold your
emotional
hand.
support pretty much at this point. He's like, I'm just that fine, point before you jump to insanity.
Yeah.
Or
like,
complete depression.
So I'm here for you.
But you still
I
look
want
insane.
You. Yeah.
Because he is like...
He is like, do you really want to talk to me? Yeah. That was a funny part.
And so from that part on, there are a few more interactions with the sister.
Yeah.
And she's...
Yeah, Yoko.
She starts having less and less contact with Minato.
Yeah.
I mean, she still talks with him from time to time, but she starts minimizing the time that she spends with him. And I think one of the things that happens is that I think it's also right after the flower incident that there's a car crash, right?
Oh, yes.
And the car starts catching fires, and she starts singing.
This is important.
And Minato saves the guy with some water bending.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And
puts
then
out the fire.
She sees a light because a person dies, and she thinks that light took Minato, and she's all freaked out. She goes...
Yeah. Because he's starting to fade away to... Yeah.
Yeah, she puts the water, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're okay. I'm going to do it again. So that's why she starts minimizing, because now he's like, I lost you once. I don't want to lose you twice. But from that moment is that she starts to realize, like, okay, what am I doing with my life? Because Minato was being an adult for me.
Yeah.
So
she now decides that maybe she can at least get a job. And so she looks into getting a job that can, like, she can save people. So she does join a life-saving class, would you say? Like training?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she also went back to Minato's house where Yoko was there, and she told her, like, oh yeah, my brother, he was about to drown when he was a kid, but a younger girl,
smaller than him,
saved him, and he said that girl was his hero, and there was even like a newspaper about it, and then she was like, what?
Yeah, because she's remembering some stuff. Now she runs over.
Yeah, she starts connecting points. She runs over home, and she's like, hey, Mom, did I ever save a kid when I was...
She's like, oh, yeah.
And like,
she pulls out a...
Yeah, here you go.
She pulls out like an old newspaper clipping and whatnot.
We have the flashback of how when she was a kid, she was still riding waves.
Yeah.
And she saw a kid that was drowning, and she just went, saved him, and she was a hero and all of that. And the kid, when he was like waking up, she just got a glimpse of her, and then that's why we learn that's why she was Minato's hero. And you're like, oh,
and why she likes he likes finless porpoises, which is really funny. Yeah, her surfboard had one. Oh, such a great scene, amazing. And then pretty much from there she kind of like learns a little bit, but the climax of the story happens soon after, or right around those parts. The climax of the story is Yoko. She overhears, so Yoko, she also is kind of like moving on, or like growing in her own life by working for a cafe, which is pretty cool.
Because it was Minato's dream to have a coffee shop. So she was like, "No, I'm taking over my Oni-chan's his dream, my brother's dream." And she overhears those same freaking hooligans that started the movie.
The freaking people who want to do fireworks at abandoned buildings for some reason.
Yeah, and they're like,
this time around, it's like,
do you remember that freaking huge abandoned building with a tree on the middle of it because reasons? We're gonna do it again.
And they're talking, and Yoko overhears it through the dumbwaiter shaft. So she's like, we gotta follow them because that's pretty illegal activity. Like you should not do that in abandoned buildings with freaking fireworks. I'm not sure of the laws for like doing fireworks, but definitely around definitely around buildings.
They may vary from time to time, but as long as I know, like at least here locally, I think it's like
it has to be.
Yeah, they have to be open and by permit. It has to be an open. So it's like the local authorities, police and firefighters must be aware of those if you want to do fireworks, because here in the States we only do 4th of July.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Memorial Day. But it's like you need to have a permit, and it's an open space. It cannot be like in a neighborhood or like a set of houses close by, because houses here happen to be flammable. And in the movie, it's like there was like a freaking giant tree that was completely dried, and it happens to be a great source of ignition.
Oh man. Jeez.
And they were like, "Oh well, you should call the police." And they're like, "No, they're not gonna believe it." And it's like, well, that sounds like the police.
Oh, okay.
They're like, well, if
they decide,
if you don't have proof, like, we're gonna do anything about it. So she goes.
They go
to get the proof.
Video record them, and so they are in the building. Yoko and Hinako.
I mean, everything was going good because the fireworks were like. I mean, they were really high up. Until there was this one jerk that just started spinning around with the fireworks. Yeah. And it's like, okay, if you're going to spin, at least spin out. But he was
literally inside, like, all
on
over.
the inside of the building. And it's like, you are an idiot.
Yeah. It's like, and so the building itself inevitably catches fire. And of course, the fire department has to come over, and they start trying to put it out. And Yoko and Hinako are in danger. But this building is pretty big, and of course, it's still like not very safe, like at all, with the fire, of course, going on. I think the fire is spreading pretty fast on a few levels, but they are near the top once again.
Yeah.
and so they are trying to put it out, but Yoko is hurt, and so it's hard to move her. So Hinako, she knows, you know, she can't do this by herself. She needs help, so she's trying to think about like what she needs to do. She thinks maybe I can call Minato, but she's like, no, I shouldn't because I'm trying, I'm trying to make steps in my life.
And also because she still didn't want to let go.
Right.
Because she knew, like, okay,
realized,
that small fire almost takes him away.
Yeah, and that was just a small, like, small area of fire. But this one is big.
It's a freaking building.
So yeah, he would disappear if she has his help here. It'll be the last time that she can basically call on him.
And so the firefighters arrive. They're not doing much, really.
Yeah.
And so she, even though Wasabi is on his way to,
right, to basically
meet
get them.
To meet Yoko and Hinako.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, this is not happening. And so Hinako takes the decision like, nope, yeah, we're going to die. So I'm just going to call him because he's going to definitely come and help me. And something supernatural happens as a large body of water starts surrounding the building and goes up.
Literally like a donut of water. It's so wacky.
Just like,
I hope we can get like a picture. But
yeah, definitely.
It's so wacky
because it starts flowing up.
Yeah.
And even the firefighters get caught on it, and they're like, "Oh crap!" Like,
and they literally
like drowning on.
They like swim, and then they can just swim down because it's like continuing to move up. Oh, it's so fascinating. One of the firefighters is like on the radio and is like, "Oh, there's like a huge mass of water climbing up the building. I have no idea why."
Yeah, he's like,
the reason unclear.
The fire has been extinguished by a large mass of water. And
dude,
like, I need a vacation or something.
He's like, oh, that part cracked me up. It was so freaking hilarious.
Because they were like, yeah, I don't know what's happening here, but at least we're not dead.
Yeah.
And so as the body of water is going up, then Hinako tells like Yoko, like, hey, your brother's gonna be here. It's gonna be fine. Yoko's still like, girl, stop joking around. This moment, my brother's dead. How is he gonna be able to help us?
Yeah.
Then the freaking water comes.
When they're there,
and she sees her brother.
Yep. Oh,
and she's
in
like,
the water, and he can.
What's happening?
Yeah. Oh, it's so incredible. He can like telepathically communicate with people underwater. Of course, you can't like speak and be heard really. So he like telepathically tells them. She like freaks out. Her little expression is like so funny. But yeah, she's like, no way, you're actually here. But yeah, they keep going up, and it's incredible. They find like a makeshift surfboard. It's basically just like a wood or foam.
No, it was one of those.
It was a fire
stretchers.
Oh, it was a stretcher. Okay, yeah. It was a stretcher. And it's just literally on the water at the top of this massive water. So they go on it like a surfboard, and then they like keep going through the building up to the very top. They basically go on the roof. As they are, Minato's like, hey, I'm gonna help you out. This is gonna be your way out of here. You're basically going to ride this and surf down this big wave that'll be created on the side of the building. So he tells them that to prepare them. And so they're like getting ready, and then this part is just phenomenal. When they come out and she starts riding the wave down, and it's super beautiful. There are like rainbow colors in the water, but this whole sequence is like it's a good long sequence
Yeah.
of time. It's amazing. Like Yoko is lying down flat on the board, on the stretcher, and Hinako is basically surfing down, and it's just phenomenal. Like I like all the techniques. I'm sure each one has a name and stuff.
Right.
She goes through the tube. She like goes in circles.
Yeah,
around.
like she even
She
goes
just
as far as
backflip, dude.
like,
it's
girl,
incredible.
you're running for
This
your
is-
life and you're showing off.
she's literally. This is the highlight of the movie. She's like doing incredible things. Oh, wow. Yeah, and there was this one part where Hinako is like about to fall off, but Yoko,
and Yoko
grabs
grabs.
her leg and brings her back. It's just amazing. Like so many good parts in this. They're safe. They go down. But yeah, I would say that's like the climax of it. It's like that's like
Because right after
it's
that,
beautiful.
we see the light, and we see how Hinako is pretty much still able to say goodbye, at least now, but she sees how the light takes Minato, and that's it.
Yeah,
Pretty much coming.
Yeah,
like,
that's like the end.
moves on. Like next scene, the hooligans were arrested.
Yeah,
like thank you at least, because
and this is in the epilogue basically.
Yeah,
after some time,
the hooligans are arrested.
They're arrested.
Hinako got her certification for
Yep.
life saving, and it's almost again Christmas, and Wasabi, like he starts a relationship with Yoko because Yoko had a crush on him.
Oh yeah, there were a few scenes throughout the movie that hinted at that, or like she literally confessed. But yeah, I'm so glad they're together at the end. I liked their pairing.
And you know, because like Yoko was like, oh yeah, those who love are idiots. And then at the end she's like, oh, if you don't love, you're an idiot.
I love it.
And so like they go to spend their time together, and she's alone. She has her life together now, or kind of like she was able to ride her wave without Minato's help, at least the waves of life.
Right up to this point.
And you're happy for her until
yes,
the
because
announcements from the tower.
Yeah, she's back at the tower place, and the message turns on. The very first one is from Minato.
Yeah, when he's like, "Oh yeah, I hope we're together forever," and she's like, she just breaks and cries like, "Oh boy!" Like everything was so good. The ending was so good. Yeah. That part was necessary. I mean, at least I think that it wasn't necessary, because like really? I didn't need an extra punch.
Oh, right, because this is where she starts crying.
Because at this part, I'm like in the acceptance part, kind of like, oh yeah, you know what, he's gone, but she got her life together. She moved on, and then this message is like, oh, she's back at square one again. Not really square one.
You could say, I know, I totally understand what you're saying.
But she's like, oh, crap.
She has to feel this grief. Grief is a funny thing, because grief is not like you go through the process, quote unquote, once and you're done.
Yeah, grief is not like, oh grief yeah, just like 1 month. And then the next month you're like, I remember him. He was a good guy.
Right, yeah.
Like, no, I remember him.
Grief can hit you, and it ebbs and flows like waves. But every time it is different, like the grief itself. But yeah, this message, it hits her, and it is grief. She starts crying again, but yeah, it hits her again, and that hits us too. And it's so.
It was a happy and bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, there are other movies where, like, they end up together, they're happy, and you're like, that was cute. But with this one, it was like
right,
they couldn't end up together.
right, yeah. So it was,
Life goes on.
yeah, and so we talk about it as like a romance movie, but it also is like a coming of age, but also kind of like a grieving process.
Yeah.
Kind of a story highlighting that grief and living your life with love that maybe has I wouldn't say like love itself has ended, but kind of like your relationship with that love has ended. The relationship itself has ended. So
Yeah.
it's
Such
a good movie.
I mean, from last week's episode,
Yeah.
I did another special and I talked about the anime Renai Flops.
Oh, okay.
And it's
The
a pretty
Flops?
similar
Oh my
story.
gosh.
Like, fan service aside,
Oh, okay.
the story itself, it's about also accepting death of the ones you love.
Okay.
Because, and also like, you know, like, I want to eat your pancreas.
Yeah.
Like, that was also like the, you know, the overall message is like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
That is sad. It's like, yeah, you can never recover from that.
Right.
But it's up to you to live as if you're dead, as to truly live.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah,
Kinda like enjoy
yeah.
life. You're
And that's like the message.
don't let someone else's death
Yeah.
stop you from keep living.
Yeah. Because grief isn't the end of like it doesn't have to be the end of maybe like the relationship that you once had. But yeah, I like that too. Yeah. Of course we all do experience death in our lives. So yeah, I think it's an amazing, great message to see to see it in this movie. I love that it's about waves.
Yeah.
Cause it's like it comes in, comes out, comes in. Oh, it's beautiful. Ride your wave. Wow.
Yeah, but
Such a great movie.
It was
Such
a great
title.
Movie. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was a pretty smart title. It's like, yeah, you know what? It's for surfing. It's for life.
Yeah.
It was like right on point.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, but yeah, if you haven't watched that movie,
ooh yeah,
go watch it. It's really good. It's not that long, and I think it's available for rented on YouTube.
Yeah, it's available there. It's available for Blu-ray and DVD. I have that, and of course any other places that it's out. So yeah, I do highly recommend it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So that was it for this week. I hope you enjoy it. Damn!
Whoa, that's crazy timing.
So yeah, keep watching anime, and we'll see you next week.
Till then.